Today we're back looking at some creepy stalkers caught on camera.
Something very scary happened to me the other day, and I am not just saying this to be dramatic. I, honest to God, thought I was going to get stabbed or killed.
Oh
I have
god.
already shared what happened on my Instagram, but I thought about it and I wanted this video to be more than just a story time about what happened, because I feel very passionate about the fact that something seriously needs to change. The UK police justice system is messed up. Onlookers need to do more, and people need to speak about this more to raise awareness so that we can prevent things like this happening. Since I got back from Australia, I have been followed by a guy in Bath. He has been following me for the last 4 days. He actually got taken away by the police the other day when he ran up to me, intimidating me.
Unsurprisingly, the police know exactly what's going on, yet they decide not to do anything about it. It kind of makes you wonder, like, how long is this going to go on? A lot of times the police know about somebody and the type of person they are and what they're doing, yet they will only actually arrest them whenever they finally murder someone.
And then 2 days ago, I was sat outside in a coffee shop and he saw me, he came over, he sat on the table opposite me, staring at me.
Ugh.
He then came over and picked up my drink, started drinking it, took my drink away and made a intimidation threat. I then got up and walked off, and he followed me for about 30 minutes around the city in Bath where I live. And every time I stopped, he would also stop. At some points he would sit down on the floor staring at me. People could see I was scared, and I definitely saw other people watching what was going on, but no one really intervened.
Why?
I went into a few shops waiting for him to go away, and then I would come out, start walking again, and he would be there again. And then at one point I changed direction, and I think that made him angry, so he had a bottle of cider or beer or something, and he threw it at the wall towards me and it smashed right next to me. And at that point I genuinely thought he was going to stab me in the back with the broken bottle. I called someone for help, and at that point I was outside the gym that I was about to do a workout in, and that is where he inappropriately touched me in a way. And thank God the person who I had called showed up and I was safe, I was okay. And there was a bit of a fight, the police came. But the next bit is what infuriates me and just makes me so angry. This guy who was harassing me, stalking me, threatening me, harassing me, asked the police if he could go to Sainsbury's to get some snacks before they locked him up.
Surely they
And
didn't
they
let him.
They let him
Really?
go and get snacks before they put him in a cell. He then got locked up for 24 hours, and he is now allowed to be back out with absolutely no repercussions. And now I am absolutely petrified to walk around my own hometown and scared that he is going to do the same to other girls. But it is illegal for girls to carry pepper spray or anything to kind of defend themselves. So I am genuinely so disappointed and angry at how this situation, and how I'm sure so many other situations like this get.
I'm sorry, but that is just completely and utterly unacceptable. You're telling me that he was harassing her, she rang the police, they arrested him, and then let him go to Sainsbury's to get snacks before putting him into a cell. And we find out who them police officers are so we can, like, get them sacked. And what she said is so true. You know, he might leave her alone. He might target another girl, and cause he's just got arrested, he might try to physically hurt them. As much as you shouldn't have to do this, you can buy a ball keychain for your key. They're worth looking into. It's the fact that people are telling you to buy other things other than pepper spray, because apparently the perpetrator's more protected than you. Keep in mind, he touched you and assaulted you, and now he's out of jail. Apparently spray deodorant does the same as pepper spray, so I always carry that instead. It's the fact that people are talking about that they have to carry deodorant to protect themselves in case they get attacked. I just can't get over the fact he got pulled by the police, let into Sainsbury's, and then went to jail. He shouldn't be going to Sainsbury's, he should be going straight to a cell. Oh. Oh no, them eyes, absolutely not. I've spoken about killer eyes and crazy eyes. But like, look in them eyes, there's nothing behind them eyes, he has to be in something. Okay, so this is like half an hour later and he's still stood there. Trying to get in, that's really creepy. I don't like that at all.
What's going on, man? Do you have business in the building? You need to get out.
No, he did not have good intentions. What I'm getting from that is that that man was either evil or he was on something. We all seen his eyes, they were not normal eyes. The eyes, they never lie, that's what I'm saying. Like, he had really crazy eyes. Have you ever met somebody who just has really scary eyes, like you don't want to make eye contact with them? That is that guy. As a Londoner, you learn to lock everything. Windows, doors, gates, cars, and use the chain and extra manual locks. If you go back to the 1970s, it is crazy how people just left their doors unlocked. They literally would not lock anything because they thought they were safe. And it makes sense as to why there were so many serial killers. You could probably walk up to a random house and get in because they don't lock the doors. Imagine coming home and he's there. I don't know how to react. I don't think you would react, that's the point. Him being in your house with them eyes, like, I think that would probably be the end of you. What is in his hand that he keeps looking at? A dead moth. In the hallway, he was touching a dead moth. If he got into that apartment, he'd be touching a dead body. I stand by that. But that video right there is proof as to why you need to lock everything, because you don't know who's out and about. Imagine him getting into your house.
Anyway, I went to my parents' house and then I got a call at like 3 in the morning that somebody had like died at my house. And it was the weirdest thing ever because they had like caution tape up and, you know, like it was right in my front yard. And basically, I guess a guy came and he was like burying things in my backyard for like 3 days. And he buried a lunchbox with like a milk chocolate inside of it in my backyard. And then he buried like knives and like a rope and like a bunch of random stuff. And I guess he'd been in my backyard like hanging out there and like burying things. Why I didn't notice, I don't know. And I'm just like apparently not very observant. And then I found out later that like all that stuff was there and that he had been like pacing in my backyard with a gun. He also looked like crazy, like he was wearing like this long trench coat and he had like a
still dressed better than your date in the zebra pants.
Yeah, he was dressed pretty nice, pretty nicely. But yeah, he was just like pacing in my backyard, I guess. And because I have like security cameras, so later when we looked, we figured out he was back there for like 6 hours or something, like waiting. And then somebody drove up that had a similar car, like that kind of looked like my car, and I guess he got confused and he thought that maybe it was me driving up. It's just like bad luck. And he like shot at this person like 6 times and he missed because she was in a car. She drove away. And then he set himself on fire and he shot himself.
Okay, well that right there is traumatic. You know, I didn't even experience that, but I feel like I need therapy. This is why you have to be careful of your surroundings. You're telling me someone was in your back garden pacing around for 6 hours shooting and you didn't know about it. I'm sorry, but it's quite clear that he was there to kill you. Why does she keep smiling? Look, people deal with trauma differently. Honestly, I would be the worst to be in television talking about a murder. See, if my best friend got murdered and my family got murdered, it would be so awkward for me just because I don't know how to deal with emotion. I'm very, very weird and delusional where I'm just always smiley. But that is a bad situation to be in. Like, imagine going what she went through. That trauma's gonna hit different in a couple of years. It's the fact that somebody literally died in your back garden and the fact that you were so close to losing your life. Imagine she went out to do a bit of gardening not knowing that he was there and then he just took her life.
Get ready with me while I talk about my stalker story. I've honestly been waiting like 2 years to tell this story because it was kind of scary. We didn't want this person to see this video or find where we were, but I think it's been long enough now to talk about it. Also, ignore my self-tan hands. Really, I haven't figured it out yet, but we're working on it. This started back in 2021, September, end of summer. I just started dating my boyfriend. We were sitting on the couch, drinking wine, just made some dinner, and we heard the doorbell ring. My boyfriend got up to answer the door. We weren't expecting anyone, so it was a little weird.
Okay, so if you're not expecting anyone, why would you answer the door? This is a thing that I do. If I'm not expecting somebody to come to my house or a parcel, door isn't getting answered. So sorry if anyone ever comes to my house, you know, just looking for a bit of help. You're not going to be getting it.
He answered the door and I just hear this female voice talking. I looked around the corner because I thought it was kind of weird. There was this lady in her 30s, it looked like. She was wearing a black tight dress and really tall heels. This lady had a bottle of tequila in her hand and she handed it to my boyfriend and she was like, "I'm so sorry for the noise last night. I live in the unit directly below you. We were doing construction and I just wanted to bring this bottle of tequila to say sorry if it disturbed you guys
don't drink that.
We were confused because we didn't hear any noise the night before. We were like, okay, it's fine. Like, thank you so much. It's okay, don't worry about it. A few days go by. It's morning time, really early in the morning. We are just waking up, getting ready for work, and we hear the doorbell ring again. My boyfriend's roommate answered the door. I heard a bunch of commotion. So I open the door and I look outside and I see my boyfriend's roommate like shoving the door closed on this lady. So obviously it was the same lady as before. She had showed up at 8 in the morning, rang the doorbell, and she was wearing nothing but a towel, like completely naked in a bath towel with her hair wet. And she was trying to come into the apartment. She was like, "Who's there? Is it just you guys? Is it just you guys?" And he was like, yeah, like, what, can we help you? Like, what are you doing? And she tried to shove her way into the apartment. and my boyfriend's roommate had to slam the door on her and basically yell at her to get out.
What I'm getting from this is that she's maybe not stalking you, but she's stalking your boyfriend. But this could turn fatal. She could view you as a blockage to get to him, and in them cases she might turn deadly.
We didn't really know what to think of it. We thought maybe she thought they were cute and was trying to shoot her shot, and then she was pissed that
Not in that way.
they wouldn't let her in or something. We kind of just like let it go at the time. About a month goes by. Me and my boyfriend are getting ready to leave to go get sushi. We open the door and we look down, and there's a folded up piece of paper on the doormat. We pick up the piece of paper, and it is literally Morse code.
Oh,
a piece
brilliant.
of paper with sentences on
Delusion.
it, with punctuation, with lines and dots. I literally have a photo of it.
Oh, so she's losing the plot. Yeah.
It was a Morse code note. I took pictures and videos of this entire ordeal that I can post, maybe. There's honestly so much to this story, so this is like a summarized version, but yeah. So on the way to sushi, I'm like looking up Morse code on my phone, and I'm like deciphering this note. I finally got the whole thing decoded, and it said, "Who are you and what exactly do you want from me? I'll be back in 30 minutes. We didn't really know what to do, so obviously we went to dinner. We were kind of expecting that when we got back there would be another one, and there was. Morse code note number 2. If you truly want me, call me. I no longer trust you. We obviously had no idea who this person was, so we weren't responding to the Morse code notes, but it basically became a series of Morse code notes from this lady. She kept leaving them at the door.
Did you report her to the landlord or like to the apartment complex? I'm sorry, but if I live in an apartment complex and some random woman's trying to get into my apartment half naked, I'm gonna be calling the police.
This was like a week-long thing. Every night she would leave a new one. It would always happen at like 6 or 7 p.m. Like, here's another one. I don't understand. I will accept Tony, Leandro, or David. They need to call me today. And then just like some random stuff at the bottom. And then there's 3 more.
Oh, brilliant.
The next one said, "Are they dead?
So
I don't
she's
care if they
spiraling.
moved on. I want to make sure they are alive and well." Exclamation point, question mark. As for the other gentleman, I am not a prostitute. I need to get to know them first, nor your slave. Also, throughout this whole thing, kind of left out this part. She would come to the door and ring the doorbell over and over and over again. Ding, 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 ding. We wouldn't even answer the door. Like we were scared of her, so we wouldn't even open the door. Most of the time we would just stay and hide and be quiet. She would ring the doorbell over and over and over again, yell stuff through the door, and leave these notes. She randomly left a note that had the alphabet on it, and then when we opened it, she stopped using Morse code, and she actually wrote in English this time. I don't understand,
okay.
and unless you are specific on terms and whom you're suggesting, I don't get it, so I won't choose. FYI, you don't own me, and don't think for a minute that I forgot you were trying to ruin me. How can I ever trust you? P.S. The problem in my dreams was that. No open borders. Also, the way she was writing in that looked like someone who is clearly frantic, like
And
it was
crazy.
scary. At this point, we know that we're dealing with someone who clearly has mental health issues. You never know what someone's capable of, so we didn't want to make the situation worse.
And that's what is sometimes scary with them situations. You know, if someone is mentally ill and unhinged, you don't know how they're going to react. You could go along with their delusions and it might end bad for you. You could go against their delusions and it might end bad for you. 9 times out of 10, it'll just end bad.
So we kept ignoring it and leaving it alone. This whole thing basically started a series of months. This lasted like over a year. She would bang up on her ceiling at us with a broom at all hours of the night, like in the morning times, night times. But there was a period of time where she would come every single night and ring the doorbell over and over and over again. Here is a clip of how she would ring the doorbell when she would go crazy.
It sounds like a
Honestly, I
dog
have so many
chewing a
videos
chew
of that
toy.
that I can show a different time. But yeah, at this point, we decided to call the cops, told them what was going on. We asked them to come down and
They
tell
done
her to please
nothing.
leave us alone. Submitted a police report. We showed them all the notes and everything. And they would come down and they said that they would go knock on her door, but if she didn't answer, they couldn't do anything about it. We had called the cops multiple times because this kept happening.
so they do
Even
know
when they
about
would
it.
come, like nothing would change. She would still do it again and they would do nothing really about it. They would say, we can't help you guys until she actually does something to hurt someone. One of the last interactions that we had with her, she came to the door, did the ringing the doorbell thing again. At this point, we would open the window, the kitchen window, because we could see out by the door. We'd open the kitchen window and be like, please leave us alone, go away, like leave us alone. We would yell for help from the neighbors, being like, help, this lady is like harassing us. One of the last interactions that we had with her before we moved out,
Oh,
and
thank God they
everything,
moved
she
away.
came to the window and she told us that she thought that we were paid actors and that we sent paid actors to her door. The cops were paid actors. We were paid actors. And that we sent paid actors to her door to harass her. The whole time, she told us that we were harassing her and we needed to leave her alone. She told the cops that we were harassing her. We needed to leave her alone. Really, she was just mentally ill, which we understand, but also we were being harassed, so it was...
Which is
it was a
scary.
lot. Here is a clip of one of the last times how violent she got with ringing our doorbell.
They look like they live in a really nice area as well. That looks like a nice apartment.
It was bad. It was really bad.
This woman is money by the looks of it.
She's hiding. Oh my god. So, yeah. That's that. I can honestly talk about this for so long. I have so many videos. I have a whole album in my phone called Stalker that has every video and all the info about this, so I could talk about it forever.
All I'm gonna say is thank God that you two moved away, because that right there was gonna end in a death. Either she was gonna die or you were gonna die. So it was not your stalker, but your boyfriend's stalker. I mean, basically, yeah. However, you have to realize that that woman could have snapped and viewed her as an invisible barrier to get to the guy. So in a way, that girl was more likely to be harmed. Why was she not evicted? How did she have money to live in that apartment? We've seen the inside of their apartment and the outside. Like, that looked like a nice complex. My cousin is schizophrenia. This sounds similar. I always felt bad for strangers that were affected. That's what I'm saying. You know, obviously the woman isn't 100% okay in the head. However, you shouldn't be expected to put up with it. It's not fair for you to have to live your life on edge with a crazy woman like her harassing your husband. Did she go to jail? No, apparently everything she was doing to us was legal. There aren't strict enough laws against stalking or harassment. And that's what's so scary. How can someone literally write you know, try to get into your apartment half naked with a towel around them and basically harass your doorbell and they don't get arrested? When is it ever gonna end? You know, how many more people are gonna have to get seriously injured or murdered for people to actually take stalking seriously? Well, anyways, guys, that's some stalkers that were caught on camera. If you've seen me looking more creepy stalkers, let me know if you will. Subscribe and see you all tomorrow for another video.